For more on this, we turn to former CIA agent and whistleblower John Kiriakou. John, nice to have you with us tonight.
Thanks for having me,
the
Ed.
president did meet with his national security team late this afternoon. Apparently, there's a decision that's being made today. So there's going to be a strike. How good is our intelligence on the ground in Syria in general?
On the ground, the intelligence is non-existent. We don't have an embassy there anymore. We don't have any kind of official or formal presence there anymore. And, you know, what NSA collects and what the military collects remotely can only go so far.
So it's all technical. It's not an agent on the ground knowing exactly what happened in building A and building B and who went in and out. There's none of that human hand intelligence there.
No human intelligence.
Okay, so we're depending on word of mouth. We're depending on satellite technology.
That's right. And it's interesting to me the way so many of our policymakers couch their language. Even Theresa May in the UK said on the floor of Parliament yesterday, all indications point to. Well, what does that mean? That tells me that there's no intelligence that says this is what happened, this is who did it.
How hard is it to find good, responsible intelligence that there was a chemical attack and chemicals used?
Virtually impossible. Unless you already have people on the ground who are reporting back to you that you've cultivated over the course of years, you're not going to get the information.
And if the place where the attack took place is hit, then, of course, it becomes, what, almost impossible to verify?
Almost impossible. It's going to be easy to determine that chlorine was used or something else was used. It's going to be virtually impossible to find out who did it.
Are we, if there is a response, what's your reaction to that? I mean, the Russians are saying that they are going to respond. That's...
To me, that ought to be good enough.
That's wide open.
But going a little further than that, a response by us would be clearly a violation of the United Nations Charter, which makes it a war crime. We do not have the permission of the legitimate, internationally recognized government of Syria to attack their property, their land, and we also do not have the authorization of the UN Security Council, which makes it illegal.
What would Plan B be? Can we guess on that? It is a big guessing game.
It's a big guessing game.
Do you think that our military leaders and our planners say, okay, this is what we're going to do? They would probably anticipate what kind of response Russia or Iran might give. And then what's Plan B?
Yeah, the
escalation or back off?
No, Plan B, I think, is backing off. It's declaring victory and going home. And I'll tell you why. When I was at the CIA, one of the things that was very clear to me was that it was the military that was the least excited to use force. It was the State Department that always wanted to attack, attack, attack. Now that John Bolton is the National Security Advisor, we have a real problem with a willingness in this White House to use force. If it were up to the generals, including General Mattis, there wouldn't be any attack.
How willing do you think our allies are? Are they going to be a one-strike wonder with the United States, or do you think they're in it for the long haul? And I'm talking about the Brits and also the French.
The Brits have pre-positioned fighter jets at Akrotiri in southern Cyprus. The French have said that they're in it for the long haul and are already in Lebanon. So my guess is that they're both serious about attacking.
Okay, and how is this going to be like the attack that took place a year ago in April, or is this going to be more than that? I mean, what's the difference? Again,
with John Bolton now at the White House as the National Security Advisor, I fear that we're going to go deeper, far deeper this time than we did a year ago. This isn't going to be a pinprick strike if we finally decide to move in. I think it's going to be a lot bloodier.
A lot of Americans think he's radical. What do you think?
I think he's radically dangerous. Look, the man was so unpopular during the George W. Bush administration that even with a Republican Senate, he couldn't win confirmation as ambassador to the United Nations and had to get a recess appointment. So I just don't trust him to follow the intelligence or even to think through a policy. I think that he acts off the cuff, just like this president does.
And the question is just how much influence is he going to have on this president?
Well, he's already decimated the National Security Council staff just in the less than 1 week that he's been in position.
Okay, John Kiriakou, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.